Now, where are you from?
I'm from Southwest Detroit.
Is it a certain part you rep of Detroit?
Southwest Detroit, yeah.
Oh, okay. Still living there?
Suburbs of Detroit, yeah, but it look like I'm about to move down to the A.
Why move to the A?
It's just popping, man. Like, everybody working, everybody got a vision, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, like, just putting their best foot forward. And, like, so far I've been down here, it's just been nothing but love. And, you know, people just embracing me. And, you know, it's just been a blessing, man, just being down here compared to, like, Detroit, man. It's just a huge difference, you know what I'm saying? And I look forward to coming back to Detroit and to doing shit in Detroit because me being able to move around and reach people in different places.
So more of a career move.
Yeah, definitely a career move.
Growing up in Detroit, what was that like for you? Can you paint the picture for us?
Yeah, it was a struggle for sure. Like, it was rough as hell. I mean, a lot of cats don't know, and a lot of cats do know. Like, it's one of the most dangerous cities. It's the #1 most impoverished city in the country, and then you got Flint right next to it. So everybody knows what's going on with their water. So it's like, you know, the whole system of how the state is ran, and especially those cities, Detroit and Flint, is just all fucked up. And it's like, the people don't have no power to change it because we don't have no political power or economic power. I see a lot of cats down in Atlanta, like, they own their own shit. You know, black people, Mexican people, white people, but, like, where I'm from, it ain't a lot of that. So that shit I have to change.
I heard some real estate could be really cheap in Detroit right now.
Fuck yeah, that shit's cheap as hell, dog. You can get a fucking big-ass crib. The plumbing might be fucked up, but you can get a big-ass crib for probably about 15 G's.
Now, what was your roughest moment growing up dealing with the struggle?
Shit. I can't say one over the other, so I'll just share both. When I was 9 years old, my brother, he died. He got hit by a car, just like on some accident shit, was on the curb and a motherfucker wasn't paying attention and hit him. And that hit my family real hard. It fucked us up real bad. And then when my grandfather died, he was like my father when I was 16. That hit, I think, just as hard, because I ain't had nothing to fall back on. And like when I was a kid, I still had my parents. By the time he passed away, I was like out on my own. You know what I'm saying?
So that was your parental guidance?
Correct, yeah. Grandpa's R.I.P.
Now, when it came to your brother, how did you find out about his death?
Well, we was living on the west side at the time, and he was at his grandma's house on the west side. And I remember his grandma just coming over to our house, and she was crying and shit, like I knew something was wrong. So my mom and my dad, they had went to the hospital, and I had went to his grandma's house, and by the time my mom and dad had came back, they just came in the house, started crying. Everybody went in my grandma's room and just started crying, like I just knew what the fuck happened, and that shit hurt, you know.
Surprised? Shocked?
Fuck yeah, words can't even describe it, bro, and I'm an artist. Like, that shit is terrible.
Do you remember the funeral?
Fuck yeah, it was one of the saddest. It's definitely when a child passes away to shit like that, bro, it's equivalent to like Trayvon Martin or Mike Brown. It's like, damn, their life just got snatched from them. Like, just such a great soul, just gone. And I'm the type of person, like, I believe in reincarnation. Like, I believe, like, when my brother died and when my grandfather died, like, they became a part of me, you know what I'm saying? And I also see them in a lot of my other family members too, so I believe, like, even though people do pass away, like, they still with us.
What do you miss the most about your brother?
Just the passion that he had for the music. That's the reason why I got into music. He passed away when I was 9. Before then, I was just like writing a whole bunch of like little short stories in drama class, playing Martin Luther King and all that shit. I had a good ass time in front of the cameras, in front of the crowds and shit. I was gonna pursue acting and just like writing films and shit like that. But when he passed away, I just decided to like just take what he had so much love for and just apply it to what I had already loved, which is just entertaining people and making people feel good.
Favorite memory of him?
Shit. At his birthday, he had some rare ass J's on. Them bitches was so cold, and I just remember us having a good ass day on the block. He had a barbecue, and it was just a good ass time. And I think that was like his last birthday, like before he passed away.
When it comes to dealing with the death of maybe like your brother, especially the way that he died when he was hit by a car, some people can turn cold.
Mm-hmm.
they can become negative, and they can turn into a savage.
Mm-hmm.
Other people can look at death in the manner that was dealt with your brother, and it can be something that turns them into being strong,
mm-hmm.
positive,
mm-hmm.
and motivational.
Right.
How did you cope with it, and how did you take? Well, coping is a different question, but how did you take on after the death of him? Did you become more negative or more positive?
Definitely more positive, and for a 9-year-old that just lost his brother, like, I just felt like I had that strength that no one else had around me, and I felt like it was my job to like help motivate them and encourage them through the time, because my family had went through a whole bunch of shit, like even before then, family members getting murdered and stuff like that, so it was already like a bad history of like people just passing away from violent shit and unexpected events and things like that. So even though we had lost him, I felt like it was like my duty to stay strong and to take what he had and to flip it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm here now. That's why I'm rapping. That's why I take the shit so serious, because I just do it in remembrance of him. And that was at 10, and I'm 26 now. So I've been writing music, you know what I'm saying, for 16 years, and I've been recording for 10 years. So.
With your grandfather, let's go through some of these questions as well. How were you how did he pass away, and how were you notified about it?
That shit, I remember that shit like it was yesterday, dog. Like, it was the summertime, and we was living in Southwest, and I had just seen him. He had came in the house, and he was petting the dog. Everything was smooth. My uncle pulled up. They both had new bikes, and they had went on a little bike ride, and like 20 minutes later, I get a call from my aunt, say he hit a badass pothole right around the corner from our house, and he cracked his head open, went into a coma, and he passed like probably like 10 days later.
He hit a pothole with his car?
No, he hit a pothole with the motorcycle.
Oh, the bike.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
I had a brain freeze right
Yeah,
there.
good.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fucked
No
up.
helmet?
No, he had a fucking helmet on, dog. It cracked through the helmet, bro. Like, it was a bad. See, the pothole was so bad in Detroit, bro, and they don't fix them until some shit like that happened. And we ended up losing the fucking case against the city because the city just like had them paid ass lawyers. Like, I mean, like, we couldn't beat that. And it's like we got cheated out of a father, and we could have been like, we could at least had some bread to live off of. And that's why I got into the whole life insurance shit. I got a license on that, and I was selling that shit for a good minute. Just because, you know, I had that experience myself to where, you know, cats was passing away and their family was in a fucked up position because they didn't have no money put up or no life insurance.
What did the state say to you? Did they say, it's your fault, he should have been more mindful of the pothole?
From what I remember...
Because I would assume that you would be fighting it in the sense that, hey, it's your pothole, you should have been fixed, or else he would have never had hit it.
From what I remember, it was a whole bunch of different witnesses that was coming about and saying different things about what they seen, and they had determined that it was bullshit, but they said that it was my grandfather's fault that he hit the pothole. But as soon as he hit the pothole and we went down there to sue him, they went and fixed the shit. So it's like, it's crazy.
Did you attend the funeral?
Hell yeah. It was, man, that shit was like, I don't wish that on nobody, like even on my worst enemy, like losing a father or a grandfather that's raising you, or anybody for that matter. But yeah, it was tough. But I do remember like just giving like a speech at his funeral and just saying like how I always remembering him, like in my mission in life now is to make him proud and to carry on what he stood for. Because he was an entrepreneur, bro. Like he had retired from Ford. He did like 30 plus years in Ford. And he built houses. He was like a big fucking construction handyman type of person. And I used to go on jobs with him myself, you know what I'm saying, and made money. And it just taught me like the importance of hard work and being organized and customer service, treating people right. And I gained a lot of that skill from being around him.
And you also learned about the importance of life insurance?
Definitely.
Explain why life insurance is important if somebody might have heard about it but don't know exactly what it means.
Okay. It's like you buying a piece of money at a discounted price. Your only job is to pay it. So in the event that you pass away, that money that you was paying on, it goes to your family. So let's say example, Smallz is 30 years old and he has no health problems. He can get a $100,000, well, let's say $1 million life insurance plan for, let's say, $100 a month, but he's got to pay it. Now, if he doesn't pass away in 20 years, then that money is just whatever. He just paid on it and he lost it. Or he can have a whole life insurance policy to where he paid on it and that shit was gonna pay back when he passed away. So there's different types of life insurance policies, you know what I'm saying?
How old should a person get one for their family member or for themselves?
Good question. Good question. Thank you for asking. If you live in like the urban cities, like and you got kids, like you should have this shit. Like if you 18, 19, 25, 30, like you need to have this shit. Like everybody needs to have it because like I said, it's you buying a piece of money at a discounted price. Like you shouldn't pass up $1 million worth of coverage for $100 a month. See, the thing is, it's like people only buy what they can see, what they can feel. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not something to where if some shit's going on, you can grab it and say, oh, I got that. Like you could, oh, I got a diamond chain or I got a watch, but that shit's just as valuable. It's just as important because motherfucker end up trying to kill your ass and be successful at it, or you get hit by a car or a bus, get sick, cancer, anything like that. You gotta have some cheese put up for your people. And growing up in the urban city, I know it's hard to save money. You know what I'm saying? People don't know how to get money like that. People don't know how to save it. Like you get it and it's gone. So, you know, like everybody should have life insurance, especially if you live in the hood and you a breadwinner for your people.
So it's something to, God forbid something happens to the breadwinner. Mm-hmm. It's something left over that their family in time of need and getting back some sort of foundation and rough patch, it'll help hold them over.
Definitely. It's exactly what it is.
You also hear stories of people trying to cheat life insurance policies and where they try to fake deaths.
Yeah.
Or, you know, they know there's a life insurance policy on a loved one and they actually try to kill them.
Yeah.
So they can get the life insurance money.
It's a dirty game.
If they know about it.
Yeah, yeah. And see, that's the thing. It's called a beneficiary, the person that the money's supposed to go to in the event that you pass away. So you got to trust that person with your life, because that's your life worth right there is that policy, along with whatever cheese and real estate you got, any other type of asset. So, you know, you got to treat it like that.
It's almost like if you get a life insurance policy, it's almost like you got to keep that secretive.
Hell yeah. Like I said, it should just be between...
It's not something you want to brag about.
No, it should just be between you and the beneficiary. Probably one other person that would be like the secondary beneficiary, but like your kids, that's like 14, 15, like they don't need to know. The nigga that you dating on the side, like he don't need to know you got a life insurance policy. Like keep that shit to yourself. I seen a movie like that where they did kill the mom and they ended up not getting the money for some reason, and then they had to go and they ended up killing each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like motherfuckers do anything for money. It's like even a nigga that's a millionaire, like keep that shit on the low. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I imagine just like any insurance company, they're going to investigate any claim to the T to make sure that it is not somebody trying to harm somebody in order to get the money that's involved in that policy and that sort of thing. And they're going to do their, you know, any insurance company, they profit by having to give up as little money as possible. So they're going to make sure that they don't have to give up this type of money to somebody that tried to kill somebody to get this type of money.
Definitely, and the main way that the insurance companies make money is off of you not paying your premium, is you dropping that shit, because once you drop it, that's just like you paying a nigga a whole bunch of money to hold on to some other money that he said that's rightfully yours. Like, okay, as long as you give me $100 a month, I got this 100 G's put aside for you. That's the agreement. But you fuck around and have a slow month, and you like, shit, well, it's either I pay this goddamn phone bill that's $100 or I pay this life insurance, your ass going to pay the phone bill, and 28 days later you end up getting killed or something happened to you, and it's like you done gave this motherfucker thousands of dollars, and your people could have had 100 G's at least, but you didn't pay it. So most of the time, the life insurance companies, and even auto insurance, let's say auto insurance, for example, because everybody got auto insurance. Most people don't keep that shit. They go and get their registration, they get their damn tags, they have that shit for a minute, and then boom, whatever, until the next time they got to do that shit. So it's the exact same thing. Insurance companies, they make money off of people not continuously paying that shit.
Do they really cut those checks in full?
Yeah, they do. They do. If something happens and someone dies and they do the investigation and everything comes clear, they gotta cough up all that shit. Matter of fact, though, I want to bring up real quick, Malcolm X, his dad, he had a life insurance policy, and he got killed by the Klan up in Lansing, and it was a racist time back then. And just like it is now, but I don't think it's as bad as then. But they ended up killing his dad and putting him on the railroad tracks. And the insurance company came back and said that it was a suicide. Like, you know, that shit wasn't a suicide. He was a black preacher. He was empowering to the community. They fucking killed him because they feared him. And that fucked Malcolm up. That fucked his whole family up because that was the breadwinner. Same situation like with mine. And he was just gone. And they ain't had shit to fall back on. And that broke up his family and, you know, really made him who he was. But it was rough for him.
And that brings up another point is if somebody does kill themselves, does that negate a check being cut?
If you kill yourself, a lot of insurance companies got it to where there's no payout.
So that's like a part of a clause in an insurance policy.
Right, you can't kill yourself.
Now, anything else we didn't cover that you would like people to know about life insurance that I might have not asked you about that people always wonder about?
Yeah, like just definitely look into like the term insurance, man. The term insurance is real cheap. It lasts, you know, at least 5 to 10 years. And, you know, it guarantees that if anything happens to you, you'll be able to have it for your people, man. Like,
and I didn't mean to cut you off, but you do bring up a good point that there are different types of life insurance policies and different amounts. What's the ideal amount, or does it really depend on age, situation, that sort of thing? Or do you have like a certain, you know, chart that you say, okay, if you're this, you need this. If you're, how to, you know?
Yeah, sure. So, perfect example, like myself, like I have a hard time getting life insurance because of my heart condition. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in America. So it's like cats like myself have a hard time getting it. But at the flip side, I got the knowledge on it and I can help my people out with it. So it's like a win-win for me. But it depends. Like, I think that if you're young and you got a job and nothing's wrong with you, get that shit, because 10, 15 years from now, something can fucking happen. You can get diabetes, you can get cancer, any fucking thing like that, and then the insurance company won't give you shit. But if you 20, 25 years old, you get $1 million policy, and 40 years old, you get fucking cancer, they can't do shit. Once they do the health inspection on you and you pass that, and they give you the policy, like it's yours. I had a situation when I was selling the insurance heavy to where a man had, he was cool when we wrote the policy, and then it was like 3 weeks later, it got issued in 2 weeks. In the 3rd week, he got diagnosed with cancer, and it was like the month after he passed away. And he ain't had no cheese or nothing. Like, that was all he had. And his people was able to bury him and have a couple extra dollars to the side. So, like, that's just a point right there. Like, that's a story right there.
But you can be denied life insurance just like you can be denied health insurance if you have certain ailments.
Correct, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that shit is real.
So insurance is almost like a gamble, really.
It's all a gamble, man.
So I get it now. Yeah. So people that are healthy,
they feel like they don't need it.
They feel like they don't need it, and that's the time when you're supposed to get it. And then when it's too late, you catch an ailment.
Exactly. It's just like,
and then you try to go get insurance. It's
just like when you grinding your ass off and you stacking up all this bread, but then you don't say nothing. And then it's like you just go out and spend it all, and some shit can happen, but you could have put up some cheese for a rainy day. Like, that's what it is. It's putting up some change for a rainy day, and it's not you even having to put up all that money. It's just a fraction of it. You know what I mean? So you really just got to be disciplined with your cheese. If you can save money, you can obtain a life insurance policy.
What do you miss most about your grandfather?
Just his energy, the game that he gave me. Like, I learned a lot of shit from him just by watching him move and how he network, how he communicate with people. I think that's why I'm such a blessed speaker. You know what I'm saying? I can communicate with people very well. I relate to people's struggles. I relate to people's stories. But that's what I miss from him, is just being able to kick it with somebody that can relate to you and ain't gonna judge you, you know what I'm saying, for what you're doing.
Favorite memory of him?
Favorite memory, when he took us down to Little Rock, Arkansas. That was the first time I ever been down to the South, and I was just able to see the hospitality of the people down here versus where I come from. It's like fucking wolves and savages and shit. But being able to see that in the South at that age, I knew it was out here. So now I'm in the A, now I see it again, and it's like it's hitting home for me again.
Same thing in regards to your brother. Did being the second close death for you to experience, did this make you get stronger and stay positive and motivated, or did this turn you into maybe a savage and negative and cold?
Nah, man. Again, man, like I ain't built like the average person. Like it made me stronger. It made me more motivated. It made me more appreciative of my own life. You know, I've seen other people in my family to where it's like it got the best of them. They become drug addicts and they can't get off the shit, or they always being negative. Oh, why this had to happen to him? Why is this happening to us? But, you know, I've always just, like, kept grinding, man, kept knowing that it was, like, gold at the end of the motherfucking rainbow. You know what I'm saying?
Dealing with the death of your brother and the death of your grandfather, how does one cope with the death of a loved one? What's the advice there for somebody watching this, going through maybe their first experience with somebody very close?
Yeah, thanks for asking the question, because that's important.
And everybody's situation can be different, and everybody mourns and copes differently, but generally speaking, what's your advice?
Have something that you're passionate about and do that shit as much as possible. Like how I cope with my brother's death was getting into rapping full time. And it's like, you know, now I built it up to where I'm a successful artist now, you know what I'm saying? And with my grandfather, was like, I learned a lot of what he, you know what I'm saying, what he taught me just by watching him, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think you cope with it by remembering what the people taught you that passed away, and I think that's the main thing, just remembering what they taught you.
I forgot to ask you this about your brother when he got hit by the car.
Yeah.
Was the driver found guilty of that? Was it his fault? Was it your brother's fault? Was there any charges like manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter? Was there a lawsuit, civil lawsuit?
Nah, I wasn't none of that shit, man. Like, it's so difficult to get a fucking lawsuit in Detroit, man. It's fucking ridiculous. But from all the neighbors and all the witnesses that was there when it happened, they said that the person wasn't paying attention. They was driving way too fast on the street, and he stepped out and they fucking hit him. But said the lady was just like real fucked up, and you know was like just like very like just messed up about it, you know what I'm saying? And no, but she didn't get charged with anything, but I know it fucked with her for the rest of her life. I know that, you know what I'm saying? And I knew that it was an accident. It wasn't like she did it on purpose or anything.
It wasn't like she was a drunk driver.
Right, like that shit, oh my goodness. Like if it would have been that, like, I'm from the D, bro. Like my people would have strapped up and wouldn't handle that shit, but it wasn't that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we couldn't react like that.
Daytime accident, nighttime accident? Daytime,
in the middle of the fucking day, dog.
Rush hour?
It was in like the little neighborhood part of the city. You know what I'm saying? But it was the daytime, I remember.